Year 9, Year 10, Year 11, welcome to some Grade 9 analysis of Macbeth. We're just going to look at the key quote, this supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. So this is Act 1, Scene 3. It has just been obviously our introduction to Macbeth, and he's met the witches and we've heard the prophecies. Now this is an interesting line because what we can analyse in here is soliciting and the word ill. Now when he talks about supernatural soliciting, we need the verb soliciting. Now don't forget that this is an aside. Therefore Macbeth is addressing the audience. Now we get a lot of students who argue, believe or interpret the play as Lady Macbeth persuades him to do it. Now that's fine. However, what we've got to remember is that he has already had dark thoughts before she appears in the play. This is one instance of it. If you analyse the verb soliciting, it means to obtain something. Now, again, what is it that foreshadows? Well, it foreshadows the obtaining of the crown initially. Also, what is it that he has obtained? Well, you could argue that he has obtained like dark forces. This idea that the supernatural has influenced his very character. As our tragic hero, one of his fatal flaws is ambition and the other is ignorance. Remember, Macbeth becomes ignorant to his own actions and ignorant to the idea that he can die. What the witches then do here is they expose his flaw, and this is further heightened by Lady Macbeth. Now, if we go further with obtain, if you know me, I like to do my words in depth, then the Latin origin of soliciting, okay, so the Latin origin of the verb soliciting means to set in motion. So obviously a lot has been set in motion here by the witches. They have set in motion regicide. They have set in motion the fatal flaw and exposed it. They have set in motion the downfall of our tragic hero Macbeth. They have also set in motion the political and the unstableness of the country at the time. The other meaning of soliciting is to offer services. Well, what is it then that the witches have offered? Have they offered the services that give him that step that he needs to commit the regicide? Have they offered evil services that again reveal a different character? Because remember, we heard about the brave, valiant Macbeth in Act 1, Scene 2, and this is a very different man. And then the other thing, sorry about my shaky camera skills, this is just a quick video. The other thing we can do is ill. So obviously the first meaning is illness. Okay, so you know, you can argue that as the play progresses, does he become more mentally unstable and mentally ill because of his guilt and because of his suffering? Ill also means bad or harmful. It can mean misfortune and it can mean evil. Now, the origin of the word ill comes from Old Norse and it comes from wicked. So again, look at Macbeth's language here. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill and cannot be good. And we've got this idea that he's going to obtain something. He's going to set something in motion related to the origin of the word ill, which is wicked. So before Lady Macbeth has even set foot in our play, his thought process, arguably, is that of something evil. I've just written there in blue, conscious versus the subconscious. Well, I think there's a good argument and there's a good E level and there's a good grade 9 argument that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth act as this. Macbeth is the subconscious and tries to hide his deep desires, which is again a quote. Whereas Lady Macbeth is the conscious because she says things very directly, doesn't she, about the serpent and about pouring spirits in the ear. So actually you can argue that they are essentially the conscious and the subconscious of one another. And as the play develops, that kind of changes where he becomes the conscious and she becomes the subconscious. Anyway, check out my channel for more Macbeth videos. I hope this was useful. Really try to analyse your words and massive good luck in your English literature exam.